We'd like to welcome those of you who saw the Bears squeak by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 21-20. We're live, and you're looking at the stadium at the USTA's National Tennis Center in New York City. The men's championship, the finals, Edberg and Courier. I'm Pat Summerall with Tony Trabert and Mary Carrillo, and there's one of our participants, Jim Courier. And they are just about to get underway. And again, it shouldn't take too long for them to get loose. Temperature, as they said, was 87 degrees, but down on that court side and down on the court itself, it's much, much warmer than that. In fact, it's hot.
This is the hottest it's been since early in the first week of this championship. Both these players, however, are very, very fit, and they haven't had that many really tough matches, so they should really be ready to go. It's really a fine day to play tennis.
Well, neither player has much of an advantage as far as the rest element is concerned. Courier played the late match yesterday against Connors. Edberg played early against Yvonne Lindell, but neither match was very difficult. And both of them won in straight sets, so fatigue should not be a factor. Plus, they're both in shape and they're both young. I'd like to welcome those of you who saw the New Orleans Saints beat Kansas City in an upset. First time in the history of that franchise that the Saints have begun a season 2-0. Disappointment for Kansas City. We're live at the stadium here at the National Tennis Center in New York City for the men's final between Jim Courier and Stefan Edberg. As you might expect, the stadium is full. Courier will serve first.
Courier to serve.
And he's got a good one.
Quiet, please.
It's a deceptive type serve. He has a very quick motion.
Play.
And he will serve a few aces.
And he'll stay on that baseline most of the time. That kind of ground stroke was what sent Jimmy Connors back to California. Norm Christ, the chair umpire.
I have a feeling that right from the start of the match, Edberg won't be seeing a lot of really big serves because Courier wants to make sure he gets in a nice high percentage of first ones, knowing that Edberg's going to be looking to come in behind second serves.
I also think that Courier will serve a lot of second serves to the Edberg forehand and make him swing at it if he is going to come in. Pat, I was reflecting last night about the composure of Courier in his match with Jimmy Connors. The crowd was for Connors, very obviously, and he had a couple of questionable calls. He handled it all extremely well.
I didn't know you reflected it. That's good.
(14-15).
Here comes Courier. Tries a drop volley. Gets lucky when it ticks the top of the net because I think Edberg would have been there otherwise.
40-15. and he leads 1-0. The men's championship of the U.S. Open of 1991.
CBS Sports coverage of the United States Open Tennis Championships is sponsored by Infiniti, official car of the U.S. Open, and proud sponsor of the 1991 Men's Singles Championships. The Travelers, quality and service 50% of the Fortune 500 have chosen. You're better off under the umbrella. Newprint, standard equipment of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. And by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free.
Just beginning the men's championship. Stefan Edberg seated number 2, Courier number 4. They're in the finals. 15 love. Courier won the first game of the opening set.
30 love.
The surprising Phoenix Cardinals 26-10 over the Eagles. They're 2-0. We have just begun here at the stadium of the USTA's National Tennis Center, the men's final. Edberg and Courier. Edberg at the top, Courier at the bottom of your picture.
40 love.
40 love. Courier won the first game.
But Courier can expect to see an awful lot of serves to his backhand or into his body. Edberg's favorite serve is going to swing to his backhand anyway, but against a two-hander, it's a good idea to jam him. I expect him to go there almost all the time.
Game Edberg, 1-all.
Game to 1-all. Two finalists. Edberg ranked number 2, Courier number 5. Stefan with 30 singles titles, 4 Grand Slam titles, $9.7 million in career earnings. Courier has a long way to go to match those statistics, but he is the French Open champion of 1991.
Courier's only 21. Edberg's
Right.
25, so he's been out there a little bit longer.
Love, 15.
Shouldn't miss that one.
Didn't really have to hit it that hard. That's the final score earlier. Rams upset the Giants. The Bears beat Tampa. Detroit, after that dismal showing last week against Washington, beat Green Bay. Atlanta's 0-2. New Orleans 2-0. Bill Belichick went from the Giants to the Browns, got his first victory.
Courier should have played it.
Yep, that's a bad mistake.
Well, that's something he didn't do yesterday.
Well, he didn't get the call he wanted. And this really was so close. He really should have played it. It even looks perhaps like it skidded off the line there.
I thought it did skid off the line, but when it's that close, you have to play it. Just for that reason, you may not get a call.
He did have a play on it.
Absolutely.
So he's had 2 real mental errors so far in this game. That's his coach, Jose Higueras, who's done such a great job with Jim Courier in the last year. Higueras is the one who helped Michael Chang win the French Open a couple of years ago, and now he's got his 2nd French Open champion student.
Tony Pickard, who is Stefan Edberg's coach.
Silver Fox.
Yep.
He's got to like the way this game is going for Edberg. 3 break points right away. I think Courier's maybe still just a little bit edgy being out there on the court.
Nervous is right.
Dug himself out of a hole.
Yeah, that's a big moment for Courier. If he can save this game, he should really then settle in, and that'll be a big one for him. Because hey, man, I got out of a big problem there. You see, he's still breathing deeply, trying to relax himself.
Advantage, Courier.
You can see the extreme grips. There's a very Western grip on the forehand of Courier. And when he goes the other side, see, he has to make a pretty good grip change. And that's where players try to rush him if they can, but it's not that easy. He's done this for a long time now, and he does it very well. Mary, you think that Courier's a little bit suspect to the low ball because of those extreme grips, don't you?
Yeah, I do. That can be a real problem. And it's what Jimmy Connors tried to exploit yesterday in the semifinals, but Courier was just up to the task.
As a matter of fact, he hadn't lost a set in this event, and if he does win this in straight sets, he'll be the first one in the Open era to win here, first guy without losing a set. It'll be a terrific task.
That's out.
Deuce.
Those are the people who've done it without losing a set.
Kind of show-offy of you to do it twice, Tony.
Well, I didn't have much competition in those days, but Courier down here, you know, since Open tennis in '68, when everybody was playing in the thing, pros and amateurs from that time on, that's a awfully good thing if he can do it.
This baseball fan sure is
Advantage,
being asked to
Courier.
throw a lot of pitches in his so early on in this game.
That's 1-all, first set.
But it's a game well worth fighting for.
That is a well-produced stroke. The Edberg backhand. This is just classic. Early preparation, just drives right through that ball, comes up the back of it just enough to create some topspin. Watch how quickly he sets up. Never looks rushed. That is fine backhand preparation. Follow through, just terrific.
Fourth deuce.
We're live for the men's finals at the USTA National Tennis Center in New York City. Edberg and Courier, 1-all in the first set. This is a tough game.
Deuce.
One of the things that amazes me about this guy is we talked about how you change his grip. Go ahead, Tony.
This is just the Edberg sneaks in and then goes in behind Courier. Smart play. You got a guy in a corner. He's got to get out of there to try to cover the big part of the court.
He runs so well with both hands on the racket while he's changing grips. Usually they say when you run as fast as you can, you got to pump those arms. He's
Right.
got both hands on the racket.
The fact is, if you do have awkward grips, you know, demanding grips, as Jim Courier does, as Monica Seles does, you've got to run fast because you've really got to get behind the ball. It's a difficult thing to prepare for. This man here can be stretched out of position and still get off a cleaner shot a lot easier. And he's finally got himself another break point. This is his fourth.
Since they've had Open tennis here, the #1 seed has only won 7 times.
That goes back to 1968.
Right.
Yeah.
And the #4 seed, which is Courier, only won twice in the Open. That was Nastasian and Vilas. And the 2 seed, which would be Edberg, has won 7 times.
Advantage, Courier.
And I still think that's the side you have to try to penetrate on Edberg, the forehand. You know, he's worked his way back to #1 in the world, so obviously it's not a weak shot, but it's weaker than the backhand side.
Look at Courier's shirt already. Games are 1-all, first set soaking wet. It's been a tough game here. He's a very avid tennis fan as well, Jack Nicholson. Thank you, Jack, for posing.
Advantage, Edberg.
Norm Christ, the chair umpire.
This is break point #5 in this game for Edberg. Remember, he start out at love 40.
Quiet, please. Thank you. First serve.
Hasn't been challenged much, has he?
Not really.
We always talk about Edberg serve, Becker, Sampras, people like that.
Boy, it was tough, but Edberg finally breaks and leads 2-1.
Edberg leads 2.
It is one thing to accelerate from a standing start, quite another at high speed. Infinity designed the Q45 to do both. With a variable valve timing system so advanced, there is no compromise at any speed. Infinity has, for the first time, blurred the lines between luxury and performance.
Our newest shoe is designed for people who aren't interested in a friendly game of tennis.
Risk. As hard as it is to live with, it's impossible to live without. At Merrill Lynch, we know that risk can be dealt with. It can be managed. It can even be turned to your advantage. To do that, you need a partner. A partner who understands it and can help you turn a world of risk into a world of opportunity. Merrill Lynch, we are bullish on the future.
You've heard of foot-long hot dogs? Maybe a yard long for those. That's a first down.
Any seat, please.
Well, we'll see how Courier responds now to that service break.
Quiet, please.
Right now, and also joining us today, our colleague Andrea Joyce.
All right, Pat, you know, we told you yesterday how superstitious Jim Courier is. His parents were not in Paris when he won the French Open, so he asked them not to come here. So as it turns out, they're at home watching on television in Florida. And as it turns out, they can't even watch in the same room. Linda told me about an hour ago that she has to watch upstairs in the bedroom, and she just feels that Jim plays better when she's upstairs alone watching. So she obviously is not wild about missing all these Grand Slam events, plans to talk to Jim about it when he gets home. However, Pat, if it works again, she may not have anything to say about it. Back upstairs to you guys.
She may just stay upstairs.
Well, you know, as parents, they may be pulling for Courier to lose this one so they can come watch him play in some future ones and watch him win some.
Somehow, I don't think so. Well, Dade City, known for its production of citrus fruit. 6,500 people. Edberg's hometown, 22,000 plus. The stadium here seats 20,500. So we could build our own town here.
Vastervik, Sweden is a very small town in southeast Sweden. His parents are there. They've come to Wimbledon a few times because he lives in London.
14.
But it's rare that they ever show up at these tournaments either, and he likes it that way. So do they. That's his first double fault. His father still works. Bengt is a policeman in Vastervik. He said, he talks about the smallness of the town. He says, my father knows every crook there.
Game Edberg. He's up 3-1.
Long-time girlfriend Annette Olsen. She used to date Mats Wielander when they were both in their teens, but she's been with Edberg a long time, and in fact, they're now officially engaged. She too is Swedish, a model.
You know, talking about small towns, one of the players that won the men's double, John Fitzgerald, lives in a small town in Australia. We said, what's your phone number? He says 2 dots and a dash. Now that's a small town.
15 love.
Neither one of these players comes from a real wealthy background. And I think that's part of the reason why they're both so good. They're both so hungry. Stefan Edberg's father, in fact, had to mortgage his house to pay for all the expenses he was incurring as a kid. But it all started to pay off pretty quickly.
That hunger is a great incentive.
Yeah, that'll do it.
30-15.
Here's Courier in that last point. Watch him hustle forward. Won't take a very big swing at this one. And just whips over the top of a cross court. Edberg is trapped. Now he makes a low volley and it's defensive. See, he does a good job just to get it back. He's stuck now. He just hopes he doesn't get killed.
30-15. That was wide.
Edberg tried to disguise that, it looked like. Tried to hold his shot as long as he could and just barely rolled it wide. You know, Mary, to pick up on your thought about rich kids from tennis and so forth, people think that tennis is a rich man's sport because it's been played at country clubs and things, but the players playing normally are not from wealthy families. Of course, it's different now. These guys are millionaires.
Edberg leads 3-2, first set.
Did you know that the most valuable patent ever issued went to a small business owner, Alexander Graham Bell? Since then, AT&T has stayed on the cutting edge of communications. For example, AT&T just invented a new 800 service for small businesses. It uses your existing line and costs only $6 a month. At AT&T, almost half our business comes from small business. When you succeed, we succeed. Call about our 800 offer.
I heard, but I'll be back.
I know.
Count me out. You make a mistake.
I know, Mr. Connors.
My doc says ibuprofen for body pain. The medicine, a Nuprin.
My trainer, too.
Got a Nuprin.
Nupit.
Nupit with Nuprin.
Strong stuff.
Just takes one.
Even a young guy like you uses it.
I Nupit.
This party ain't over, kid.
For back, joint, or muscle pain.
Nupit.
Nupit.
With Nuprin.
The body pain medicine.
A promise to let you color a red rose green. A promise that a secret whispered is as good as kept. A promise to keep things safe for you.
To help keep their promises, people have relied on us for more than a century. Mass Mutual, we help you keep your promises.
Well, you hear a lot about the trains and planes and the distractions, but there are a lot of beautiful sights here at the U.S. Open as well. And some happiness. Edberg to serve.
Love, 15.
Edberg has been serving consistently harder at this tournament than he's been serving all year. And because of that, he's having a little bit of trouble at times getting as close to the net as he usually is for his first volley. We'll see if that hurts him when he goes for the big ones. That's just beautiful. And again, he's going to the Courier backhand. The Courier says he can handle that one. The two hands helps him handle the big Edberg kick.
Early preparation, a very short swing on that backhand. Watch this volley placed beautifully just inside the line. A Courier got the return down. He had Edberg stretched out, but the backhand volley of the #2 seed is outstanding.
That's really going to be the measure of the match. Have a look at Mike Wallace there.
Most Grand Slam finals since 1985. Lindell leads with 13. Edberg is second, tied with Becker and Matsfield under.
They'd rather talk about how many they've won, though. Edberg's won 4. Courier won the only Grand Slam final he got into. And that was the French earlier this year.
That was good news for Jim Courier, and that, as I was saying, that's the measure of the match, I think, right there. The return before, Courier had it up real high, and it was an easy volley for Edberg. But on this volley that Edberg had to make, you can see Courier was able to dip it down and make him hit it off his shoe tops, and that's going to be a very, very tough thing to do time and again today. So we'll be able to know who's winning the battle of serve and return just by seeing where that first volley is being played from. That one nice and low. Boy, that was a beauty.
And you see where Courier was. He was well inside the baseline. You can do this on a player's second serve. Watch where this lands. Pretty deep, not real deep. And there's Courier well inside the baseline, so he gets it earlier and higher. Gets over the top of it, gets it to turn down, and makes the guy volley up if he can even get his racket on it. Break point. When you're playing a good player and a good server, you do just all you can on the first serve, whatever you can do. But on the second serve, that's where you have to really try to do the damage. And there Edberg got the first serve in, so it paid off for him.
Second serve.
Did it again, and he's getting a little predictable by continuing to go to the Courier backhand.
Advantage, Courier.
In general, that's a good play, but Courier's just sitting on this, waiting for it now. Again, he's got to mix it up, or he's got to. You can see he's standing right in there, right on the baseline to pummel that away. I think he should go more into the Courier body, and also surprise him by taking to the forehand as well.
See, Edberg's serve is a kick serve. He doesn't slice it very often.
He can flatten it though. That one had a little kick on it.
Yeah, did go right at him too.
That's what, again, that's what he's got to do. He's got to jam Courier.
There's not a tennis player that exists that likes this to happen, coming right at you, because it complicates your problem. You got to get your body out of the way before you can make a swing. Foot fault.
Quiet, please. Advantage, Edberg.
Game to Edberg.
Edberg leads 4-2.
Saturday, the pennant races in Major League Baseball heat up on CBS. Most of you will see the Dodgers battle the Braves for first place in the National League West, or the Oakland Athletics take on the Toronto Blue Jays. It all gets underway with Baseball 91, starting at 2:30 Eastern Time. Scores today in baseball: Dodgers and Braves both won. Or there in the 9th inning. Toronto won again over Cleveland. Oakland beat Detroit. Toronto's lead increases over the Tigers to 5.5. Red Sox 17-6 over Seattle.
Of 15.
Wade Boggs kicked a field goal.
Has Sparky Anderson do a great job year after year.
Amazing.
Nobody thought Detroit would do anything this year, and they've been in the hunt the whole time.
Courier serving at 2-4, the first set of the men's final.
15 all.
Gets even at 15 all.
Stylistically, this match should be just like the one we saw in the women's final yesterday between the baseliner Monica Seles, Courier, and the serve and volleyer Martina Navratilova, Edberg. But there's a big difference, and that's that Edberg is so much more solid off the ground. And Navratilova, I don't think ever felt, as this man does, that she could stay out there with Seles and trade ground strokes. But Edberg's ground game has gotten so much more solid in recent years as we see him hoist this beautiful lob, untouchable, that he doesn't feel he's got to rush against Courier. If Courier comes in, Edberg can do the passing as well.
$30 all.
Both encouraging numbers.
30-40.
Break point for Edberg. He'd love to get a second break in this first set.
Edberg leads 5-2 in the first set.
On June 23rd, BMW introduced the completely redesigned 325i sports sedan. Press has reacted. Have you?
Work was frustrating. I was ready to leave. I even had my resume out. So I didn't expect much from the new guy.
Together, we have a story to tell. And we're gonna tell it right here.
Every company has a story to tell. Every person a contribution to make. It's the document that helps put it all together.
You did a great job.
You know, things can change.
Xerox, the document company.
One company knows the global market so well that it brings you investment opportunities from America and around the world. With a family of mutual funds that give you an intelligent, professional approach to investing, combined with the benefits of diversification. The company that has done all this should come as no surprise. Because at Merrill Lynch, we're bullish on your future.
The Fuji blimp soaring overhead, being piloted today by Captains John McGurk and Gary Fabian. Looks like it just hangs up there, doesn't it? Hope they're not out of gas. Now they're both avid tennis fans.
Tell the ushers to stop moving up here. 2 ushers right there.
There is a key. Points won on the first serve.
And he's not even serving at 40%.
Courier doesn't appear to have gotten anywhere close to as confident and loose as he was yesterday.
Well, you know, against Connors doesn't hurt you with a serve at all. Here's a guy that can really hurt you with a serve, and he also can stay with his Marissa off the ground. So it's a little different ball game. You look as good as your opponent lets you look. 3 set points now. Fully extended. Look at that placement right in the corner. You don't see Edberg go for many aces.
Second serve.
Edberg wins the first set of this men's final. 6-2, and we're live at the USTA National Tennis Center, the men's final of 1991, the Stadium Court. That is the first set that Courier has lost in this entire championship. And we're in the championship.
No, he'd only lost his serve, I think, 5 times coming into this match.
Thank you.
He's lost it twice now. So now he's lost it 7 times. About the importance of Courier handling the Edberg serve. Edberg's only lost 5 points on his serve. Wow. So obviously he's serving well, backing it up well, and Courier does not have an answer at this stage.
Pretty close in terms of speed on first serves.
Courier especially gets in trouble when he misses that first serve. He's in the same mess that Ivan Lendl was in against Edberg yesterday, isn't he?
Yep.
What Courier says, you know, I used to just try to bang my way out of trouble. Now, he says, Jose Higuera has taught him that there can be a plan B, that you can rearrange a match if you try hard enough. Tried to serve and volley there, but the dip return was just too tough for him.
3 break points for Edberg. Trying to jump out ahead in the second set.
Courier just said something to Figueres with his palms out.
Almost like, what can I do?
Yeah, desperation kind of emotion.
Yeah, it was like, do I have to hit a shot that good to stay in this match? He's still down 2 break points.
Right.
Edberg thought that was out. And he says it was right there.
It's 116 miles an hour.
Here's another look, reverse angle.
That's pretty much where Edberg was pointing. Hard to know at that speed.
Isn't that the truth? Deuce.
Another one, 114.
That's his third.
There you see the difference in a guy like Edberg. He never complains or seldom complains. That we just walked away from. You know that was an ace, no question about it.
He makes things look so effortless. Even his complaints.
Anger's not one of his primary emotions.
Just like that, game to Courier. We'll be back at the U.S. Open after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
Since 1921, Hugo's Interiors has offered timeless elegance to generations of Jacksonville's quality-conscious families. Right now, Hugo's entire selection of quality home furnishings and decorative accessories are on sale. Save up to 50% store-wide, as well as substantial savings on Hugo's custom quality upholstery. Although our prices have been drastically reduced for this sale event, Hugo's quality, service, and selection remain the same. Visit Hugo's Fine Furniture and Interiors today at 3139 Phillips Highway, 1/2 mile north of Emerson.
Growing up in the 90s, just how tough is it for your child and for you? We'll look at some of the pressures facing our children. We'll meet some people who may inspire you.
People like our team panel of experts who will help guide us through the challenges of growing up.
So we encourage you to watch with your children because the end of the innocence may come sooner than you think.
An Eyewitness News Take the Time Special, Wednesday at 8, only on WJXT Channel 4.
Now, the station that brings you the best in news and entertainment brings you the best in values. Coming soon, the WJXT Value Pack. Look for it for savings from your favorite merchants and your chance to win a Geo Prism from Nimnik Chevrolet Geo or a showcase of prizes from Pick and Save. For details on how these prizes and savings can be yours, look for the WJXT Value Pack in your mailbox or your nearby Jiffy or Little Champ store the week of September 9th. Only from WJXT Channel 4.
Monday on Eyewitness News Daybreak, changing your oil for the environment.
The U.S. Open has seen through the golden sunshine. It's hot.
Again, we'll see Edberg come in behind Courier, forces him to hit that weak lob.
Good shot. All you can do is watch one like that.
When you watch Edberg play as well as he's playing now, you wonder how he could go through 1991, just win 3 tournaments. He's not won a Grand Slam event this year.
His serve has been all over the place for a lot of 1991. His toss was moving around, and it really betrayed him in a lot of matches.
40-15.
Seems to have gotten his swing back, though.
It looks very smooth.
Yeah. And after losing 5 points in a row in that last game, having been up love 40, comes right back into Courier's face. And Jim has been struggling so much on serve. A lot of pressure.
Again, let's go down to Andrea Joyce.
All right, Pat, I'm with Jose Higuera's Jim Courier's coach. What does Jim need to do here in the second set differently?
Well, I think he needs to start serving a little better. He hasn't been getting too many free points out of his serve, and besides that, Stefan is playing really well. Hasn't made hardly any errors. So hopefully he'll start having a little better, and Stefan, you know, start giving him a little advantage too.
What about Stefan's serve? Should Jim be doing something differently?
Well, you know, Stefan is getting a high percentage of first serves, which, you know, it keeps you guessing pretty much all the time. And he has a big kick to Jim's backhand, which bothers Jim a lot. Like I said, I think Stefan is playing really well. And, you know, Jim's just got to try to keep hanging in there and hope, you know, that the match level will start changing.
He fell behind early at the French Open. Can he turn it around here?
Well, I think he can. Obviously, the you know, the surface, I think, favors Stefan a little more. He's more a 7-volley, more an attacking player. But I think Jim, you know, if he plays well, I think he has a good chance.
Okay, let's go back upstairs. Thanks.
Courier serving 15 love.
Andrea asked a couple of good questions to Jose Higueras because at the French Open final, when Courier was losing to Agassi, there was a 20-minute rain delay, and in that time, Higueras was able to say to Agassi, look, you're not returning his serve too well. Step back about 10 feet and see if that helps. And, of course, it turned the whole Courier, and it turned the whole match around. Courier ended up beating Agassi.
Jose Higueras, of course, is one of Spain's great players, Davis Cup player for years.
But the reason that I really don't think that would work against Stefan Edberg is if you step back 10 feet against his serve, you're so far away, and he's going to be coming up to net. I mean, Agassi wasn't coming up to net behind his serve, but Edberg would be. So I don't think that strategy would work.
Not on this surface.
Courier just served his second double fault, so it's 15-30.
He's pressing, really. He's pressing hard now. That was his third double fault. And again, not only is he feeling pressure off the Edberg serve, but even off the Edberg return. You can see he's down to about 40% now on second serves. He said at the beginning of the match he wanted to keep a high percentage of first serves in so he wouldn't have to go to the second ball against Edberg's return.
Edberg breaks. He leads 2-1.
And now this tournament summary, sponsored by AT&T, the right choice.
1991 U.S. Open facts. 14 days of play, 635 total matches have been played, 566 total players, and a new record attendance of 479,700.
Did you know that the most valuable patent ever issued went to a small business owner, Alexander Graham Bell? Since then, AT&T has stayed on the cutting edge of communications. For example, AT&T just invented a new 800 service for small businesses. It uses your existing line and costs only $6 a month. At AT&T, almost half our business comes from small business. When you succeed, we succeed. Call about our 800 offer.
Boyfriend number 5 bites the dust.
The satellite hit Rick.
Will Joel be victim number 6?
We don't believe in any curse, right, everybody?
Northern Exposure Monday.
The death of a dancer. Brothers on opposite sides of the law. A prostitute in the family she left behind. The dreams of the desert children. Stories so powerful we need 2 hours to tell them. Street Stories. A season premiere of 48 Hours. Wednesday.
The National Tennis Center, and the final match of this championship of 1991, the men's championship. Stefan Edberg won the first set 6-2, leads 2-1, and will be serving in the second set. Best 3 of 5.
Missed it.
Love 15.
Courier is not getting a very solid piece of the ball off the Edberg first serve. He's got to hope that Stefan misses some and see if he can handle the second serve better.
Right at him again.
Edberg's only lost 7 points on his own serve, so boy, that's not only dominates on his serve, but it puts the added pressure on the Courier serve, because he says, hey, if I'm broken, having no luck on the other guy's serve, I really got a problem. Aggressive play by Edberg. Good deep serve. Nice crisp volley. Watch him close in here. Of course, that was an easy one. Courier got the ball way higher than he wanted it and didn't get near the sideline.
First serve.
Look where he is, how he runs in after his shots. He could flatten out his serve and hit him even harder if he wanted to. But the fact is, because he kicks the serve in so beautifully, by the time he hits the first volley, that kick allows him to get closer to the net. So his first volley, he tends to be hanging right over it. Like that.
40,
even if he had to make a volley. See how close he was to it? I mean, it makes the first volley so much simpler for him. So even though there are guys with bigger serves like Ivan Lendl, Michael Stich, he's got his combination is more overwhelming, point after point.
Quiet, please.
See, that last one of his was 99 miles an hour.
Edberg leads 3-1 in the second set. He won the first one 6-2. Next Sunday, it all begins at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today. The Giants will be at Chicago. The unbeaten Bears, the 49ers at Minnesota, Philadelphia, Dallas, Phoenix, Washington, Atlanta at San Diego. And as I said, it all begins with that quartet. Terry, Bryant, Pat. The last word before kickoff.
Line 15.
So far, Stefan Edberg has had the last word.
Yeah, that's an indication of how well he's playing. You don't see him try this shot very often. Heavy topspin. Look at how quickly it dips, the angle he gets on it. He'll brush up the back of the ball. Now, he makes that same kind of a stroke occasion when he goes over the top with the offensive lob, which he did earlier. So it disguises that shot and helps it.
Yesterday, after he beat Lundell, he said, I don't even have to think out there. It's all, the game is coming to him so easily. It must be nice. For tax reasons, he no longer lives in Sweden. He lives in London, though. He decided he wasn't one of those flashy Monte Carlo type guys. And for years, the London tabloids have been trying to dig up some good stories about Edberg. They finally came up with one last year. They found out he did his own laundry.
That's right. Well,
that's about the only dirt they could find on him was on his clothes.
Doesn't own a car. And he wants to be anonymous. It's all working for Edberg.
15-30.
The power works. The touch works. Delicate touch there. The lob volley. Not a good shot by Courier. And that part was academic.
Not a good shot or not a good choice?
Well, end up not being a good shot. If he gets over his head, it's a good shot and a good choice. Normally from there you throw up the high defensive lob and try to stay on the point. Edberg appears to have taken some of the stuffing out of Courier. He's not that bouncy, tenacious self that he usually is. That doesn't mean he's not trying or he's out of this match, but got him pretty well frustrated at the moment.
Boy, you're so right.
30-40.
Tony Picard.
Again, a huge point for Edberg would give him 2 breaks in the second set.
Courier must be feeling at this point, that's pretty much what I've got to come up with. Very high-risk game.
Just about right.
That's the type of thing that Courier has to hope happens, that Edberg comes down a little bit, because he's been playing so well that there's just not much you can do, and he has to hope that Stefan resurfaces a little, lets him in.
To Courier. Edberg's 3-2 in the second.
This is Milan Henelička, goaltender for the Czechoslovakian Olympic hockey team. He's taken hundreds of stitches, suffered 8 fractures, and has even been knocked unconscious. Yet he once went 11 consecutive periods without being scored on. But if you think it's tough to get something by him, Wait till you see the guys at the ticket window if you don't have your Visa card. Because once again, the Olympics don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
I wear the pump cross trainer because I like a secure fit. Life is short. Play hard. Reebok.
It's not a wagon, not a van, but whatever you're dragging, Expo can. Introducing Mitsubishi Expo and Expo LRV. Got some stuff with a lot of people? Expo seats from 7 deep. Well, got some people with a lot of stuff? LRV is more than enough. Not too big, not too small. Available with all-wheel drive, they'll haul you every day or on a getaway. Expo and Expo LRV. We call them sport wagons, but they're whatever you want them to be. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
Just about anything you want is available here at the U.S. Open. But hey, you can't sample it. Okay, I'll take it.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Some ushers behind Courier had bothered him at the other end of the court. And now, once again, he's asking them to before I start to play.
This is, you see this at tournaments all over the place, especially at the Australian Open. Painted faces of Edberg fans. I really think it started at the Australian because Edberg and Wielander dominated that event for a number of years.
15 love.
Edberg had 3 unforced errors in that last game, which was part of the reason that Courier was able to take it. And Courier's going to have to hope for more of the same, really. He's got to get a foothold into this match. And I do feel like one of the only ways he can do that is for Edberg's game to go away for a while.
Swedes in the U.S. Open finals. Wielander twice. Borg never got it done.
On 3 different surfaces he tried, too. He couldn't do it on grass, clay, or hard.
I think that's really why he retired.
You think so?
Yeah, he'd win the French and Wimbledon, couldn't win here, so couldn't go on and try to win the Grand Slam.
Now, of course, the Australian Open kicks off the Grand Slam, but it used to be at the end of the year. Tony, I remember how much the Australian press used to root for Borg here. They wanted to see him win it so that he'd come on down. Just never happened.
I think Courier has to be very disappointed in his inability to penetrate the Edberg second serve. You understand when Edberg gets his first serve and it's going to be tough to handle, but the second one, as good as it might be, still should be handled better.
Like that. That'll do it.
Courier's almost got to step up to the baseline as he did here. Take that ball sweet and low, nice and early.
He just been had getting a good piece of it. He's been sort of hitting it off center.
That one too. He stepped up a little tighter. I think that's got to be the play, really.
It's what it looks like if you're at court level.
Very compact swing you've got to take.
Yeah, 100 miles an hour. It gets on you pretty quickly.
He missed it.
Edberg leads 4-2.
Edberg leads 4-2. And Courier's in trouble. No emotion.
Courier has a sister, Audra, and a brother, Chris, who you know are pulling like crazy for him.
When you say no emotion, Pat, Jonas Svensson, a good friend of Stefan Edberg's, a fellow Swedish player, a good one, in fact, says of Edberg that there's a Swedish word that describes him. Swedish.
No emotion. Live at the men's final to USTA's National Tennis Center in New York City. Stadium packed. And that's the situation. Edberg won the first set 6-2, leads 4-2 in the second. Courier serving 15-all.
One of the few times that this offensive lob has worked today for Courier. Edberg was closing. That one landed just inside the baseline.
Courier's got a real problem against Edberg. He talks about how much more patient he's gotten on the court, that he waits for his shots. But against a guy like Stefan Edberg, I mean, patience is not a virtue, because he's going to rob you of time, of preparation, of shot selection.
So very graceful.
That was one of the better tosses for Courier. That one was up and into the court. He's been tossing that ball almost straight up overhead, and when you advance the weight forward, you get ahead of the ball, and you don't serve as accurately. It's more of a pulling motion than a hitting.
Game to Courier. Edberg leads 4-3 in the second.
The network. It's the most powerful tool in business today. At GTE, we can put that power in your hands. The power of a personalized communications network designed for the success of your business alone. The growth of your business, the prosperity of your business. We've done it for others. We'll do it for you. Because at GTE, the power is on.
This fall, millions of people will laugh, scream, and fall in love. And they'll do it all for free from Diet Coke. Presenting the Coca-Cola Ticket to Entertainment. You could win one of 5 million tickets instantly to select movies like Deceived with Goldie Hawn, or Paradise with Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson. Look for specially marked packages of Coca-Cola Classic, Sprite, and Diet Coke. We're getting great reviews. Diet Coke. With 100% NutraSweet.
Grab your coat, oh yeah, get your hat, leave your worries on your doorstep. Direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Okay. Can't you hear that little bat? It's a happy tune at your step. Life is sweet on the sunny side of the street, yeah.
At BMW, we build convertibles that shine, even when the sun doesn't.
Not to worry, the U.S. Open's in good hands. Best seat in the house.
Emily Dickinson said, hope is that thing with feathers.
Behind the court, please.
Jim Courier could use a couple of seagulls at this point.
Well, to show you the effectiveness of the Edberg serve, he's winning 77% on his first serve and 76% on his second serve. That's awfully strong.
Courier guessed right. Couldn't do anything with it.
This is where he makes a mistake. He's in a position to drive that ball.
Yeah, but I think he's decided he's going to try to take Edberg off the net. Maybe he thinks if he can lob effectively enough. We saw him with a beauty just a little while ago. That Edberg won't keep closing like this.
13, love. Love.
Scary.
Game, Edberg. Edberg leads.
Strong game by Edberg. In the pass. Look at some of the trouble that Edberg has had here at the U.S. Open.
Especially last year in 1990 when he lost in the first round. He was coming up a 21-match win streak. He was the #1 player in the world, and he lost to Alexander Volkov.
Quiet, please.
That was a real big shock. But he said he had so much tennis in him by the end of, by the time the Open started. He and Boris Becker have been ping-ponging the #1 position back and forth all year. For the third time now, Edberg has regained it now that Becker lost here in the third round.
Who is it?
Wasn't that Newton? Oh, yeah, I read that too. That's right, yeah.
Here's another look and see that the long run by Courier well behind the baseline, just barely got his racket on it before it bounced twice. See where he has to come from. When you're in that kind of a situation, like he tried to make a sharp angle knowing that the point's over, he doesn't make something a winner outright.
That's good. 20-30. To Courier. Edberg still leads 5-4 of the second.
The 10th anniversary of the IBM PC is a good time to look back. A lot has changed in just 10 years, but for all the changes of the past, the future is all that matters. There's only one thing IBM will say about that. Hold on to your hats.
Shh. I've got a secret. One of these is full of real live birds. The other's a Hitachi Ultravision TV. And thanks to Ultravision's ultra clear, ultra sharp, ultra bright picture, you probably can't tell which is which. Is the suspense killing you? Okay, I'll show you. Ta-da! Ultravision, only from Hitachi.
We didn't look at it like everyone else. That was too confining. Instead, we opened up the Infinity G20 with a luxurious cabin-forward design and the exhilaration of a 140 horsepower engine. It's designed to give you breathing room and take your breath away, all at the same time.
A police wife watches as her husband faces down a killer.
It was like a dream. I couldn't believe this was really happening.
The all-new season premiere of Top Cops, Thursday.
Back at the U.S. Open of 1991, you're looking at the stadium. Pat Summerall with Tony Travert and Mary Carrillo, along with our colleagues Andrea Joyce and Tim Ryan. Edberg serving for the second set. He won the first.
15 love.
This whole second set, he's only lost 4 points on serve.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
A little better play now by Courier. The return was low. He had time to set up on this one and just really overpowered Edberg with that back two-hander.
He almost takes no backswing with that two-hander.
If Courier can break here, the crowd will get more involved. That can give him a lift and get him really fired up and into this match a little bit. To this point, Stefan Edberg has pretty much been dominating.
Serve find a seat at the end of the court, and he's seated.
goes now. It doesn't bother Stefan much because he knows he's going to get some of those called on him, and he just goes back about his business. What a great volley that was.
Courier just shook his head.
He's saying, man, I can't hit it harder than that.
Can't get it lower.
No, I got it nice and low. Here's what Edberg was up against. See, he just got to the service line. And that ball hit right inside of the sideline.
Another football called. As you say, Tony, it's common with an Edberg match because he wants so badly to get into the net.
I guess it was called out.
I didn't see any signal. Courier called it out.
Well, Edberg doesn't like the call. Edberg cuts off this little next volley here. He goes to the angle.
Quiet, please.
He thinks he's made it. See, he clenches his fist, then he gets the out call. Break point. A very good offensive lob and a great effort by Edberg.
Deuce.
Twice now Courier has played terrific ad court points, and twice Edberg has come up with something even better.
I don't think Edberg was trying to hit that overhead there. He was just glad to get his racket on it. It happened to go there. These fully stretched, leaning backwards, pop the wrist early to get that racket head to come back down, bring that ball down the court. Courier's saying, good gosh, what do I have to do?
I think that's what he said.
I guess that was called good.
Advantage Edberg.
Yes, it was.
I couldn't see. It looked like it was awfully close.
I can't believe the clutch volleys he's come up with in this game. And Courier's couldn't be doing much more
That was
to try
brilliant.
to get it by Edberg. He's tried to hit through him. He's tried to hit over him.
Quiet, please.
Yeah, there was no question that overhead was good.
Well inside.
And now it is a set point for Edberg.
Second set,
Way to
Edberg.
polish it off. Second
6-4.
set to Edberg. 6-4. He won the first set 6-2.
Here is a nice way to finish off the set. Right smack on the line.
Courier thought it was wide. He's still complaining about it.
Umpire Norm Christ. Here's another look. Looked like it hit half the line to me. And it's certainly too close for an overrule. There has to be a clear mistake for the umpire to overrule. So here we go, set number 3. Edberg has 2 in his pocket.
He just continues at that relentless pace.
But Courier started getting a piece of the ball there. Annette Olson, Edberg's fiance. Courier started to get into that match just a little bit more there. Started to return a little better, make some better passing shots.
It took a brilliant game for Edberg to secure that second set.
Love 30.
From above, Stadium Court, the USTA's National Tennis Center. Men's finals. Stefan Edberg, Jim Courier. Love 30. First game, third set.
This is real trouble because, as often happens sometimes, in the span of about 10 minutes, you finish off the last game of one set and then you break right away at the start of another one, and in those 10 minutes you can lose a whole match.
Of course, Edberg wants to give Courier the feeling he's going to dominate and continue to dominate, not let him in it at all.
Edberg breaks. He wins the first game of the third set.
Risk. As hard as it is to live with, it's impossible to live without. At Merrill Lynch, we know that risk can be dealt with. It can be managed. It can even be turned to your advantage. To do that, you need a partner. A partner who understands it and can help you turn a world of risk into a world of opportunity. Merrill Lynch, we're bullish on the future.
Sharp.
What goes into some of the world's most innovative business products?
Sharp thinking.
It's why this high-resolution VGA notebook computer fits in your briefcase.
Sharp thinking.
It created Sharp's most advanced high-speed copying system.
Sharp thinking.
It made the world's first desktop full-color fax a reality, and the Wizard electronic organizer a necessity. The one way to meet new business needs with new technology is
Sharp thinking about business.
Some people think he's a Superman. But when a 44-year-old has to throw 75 fastballs, even Nolan Ryan's muscles can ache. So after the game, it's the medicine doctors recommend most for sprains and strains, Advil.
For me, it's a couple of Advil, and those muscle aches are long gone. And Advil's gentler on my stomach than aspirin.
Today, it isn't aspirin or Tylenol acetaminophen. It's Advil.
I feel ready to go another 9 innings.
Advil, tablets and caplets, advanced medicine for pain.
At 39, he was this year's sensation of the U.S. Open. The ageless Jimmy Connors on his incredible comeback tomorrow on CBS This Morning. It's breakfast for your head.
As the sun sets over the skyline of Manhattan, that's the situation in the U.S. Open of 1991. Stefan Edberg, 6-2 in the first, 6-4 in the second. He's up break and serving at 1-love in the third.
And Edberg's only lost 12 points in 9 service games. So that's how well he's dominated on his serve.
Courier, even in that last game and on that last point, he even tried to take the air out of the ball. You know, get it some off-pace shots, and that didn't work against Edberg either. I'm not sure just what would on a day like today. Edberg's he's pitching a shutout. More moving around the court.
Usher.
That's what Courier says he wanted to change this year. He's worked hard not to be so predictable. Just a banger. He lost a match to Andres Gomez last summer, and Gomez had said after the match to the press that Courier just, you know, you knew just what he could do, and he had a limited game, and that really stung Courier. He's tried to change that around. Gomez also very kindly said to Courier, look, you win points, you know, you don't have to win every single point. Your opponent will lose some too, and it all counts for the same thing. He said that really made a dent in him. But in fact, against Stefan Edberg today, he's just not being given any gifts at all. Dirty love. Boy, that looked out.
I think he agrees with you. Not him. I think that's a bit of sarcasm. Well, it looks pretty good.
It was awfully close. It wasn't good.
Game to Edberg. And they do go quickly when he serves.
You've got a little stat here, Patrick, that when Edberg's average time in his service game is 3 minutes and 20 seconds, Courier 5 minutes and 10 seconds. So he's obviously struggling harder to hold serve. He's been broken 4 times. Courier has not been able to break Edberg yet.
Top Grand Slam records in 1991. Courier has the lead at 20-2. Edberg is 20-3. Becker's 20-3.
If
18-3, excuse me.
I was going to say, Pat, if Courier were to win this, having already won the French, I'd be hard-pressed not to think that maybe he was the #1 player in the world this year, winning the French and the U.S. Open. But Edberg is #1. And if he wins this, I think I just have to give him the nod. Wimbledon, of course, was won by Michael Stich. Boris Becker won the Australian Open.
Again, some distraction bothered Courier. It's the only place I can think of where you get applauded for sitting down if you're in the back row.
That's right.
Hey, this is Courier's problem at this point. He's got to go for more and more gambles. He's like a blackjack player. He's got rotten cards, and he starts doubling up on his bets.
Well, he's not getting any first serves in, so that's one of his weapons that's gone.
Quiet, please.
And then the constant pressure from Edberg, sort of dispirited at the moment.
One of your more avid tennis fans, Wilt Chamberlain.
How'd you like to be serving from that vantage point, huh?
He didn't forget to grow, did he? Boy, he's big.
And what a nice guy. He's out on all the courts watching juniors. He's watching women's single. Yeah, he just loves it all.
A friend of mine once asked him how his overhead was. He said, "Don't know. Nobody ever lobs me."
30-40.
We're live at the USTA's National Tennis Center in New York City, the men's final, and that's the situation. It's been all Edberg. He's up 2-love in the third set. This is the championship.
And he's got a break point here.
Beautiful day in New York. I don't think either one of them are thinking about that at the moment. Game to Edberg, and he's up 3-love in the third, and we'll be back at the U.S. Open after this word from your local station.
I'm going upstairs to bed. Not to my bed, knucklehead.
Who's the power behind the royal family?
That's the beginning of a coup.
A Red Hot Wednesday, the royal family, September 18th.
This is CBS.
Since 1921, Hugo's Interiors has offered timeless elegance to generations of Jacksonville's quality-conscious families. Right now, Hugo's entire selection of quality home furnishings and decorative accessories are on sale. Save up to 50% store-wide, as well as substantial savings on Hugo's custom quality upholstery. Although our prices have been drastically reduced for this sale event, Hugo's quality, service, and selection remain the same. Visit Hugo's Fine Furniture and Interiors today at 3139 Phillips Highway, 1/2 mile north of Emerson.
There's only one place to see all your home team highlights. To see all the action. The University of Florida, Florida State, Miami, and Georgia. Everything you want to see in college football and more. Your favorite teams on your favorite station. First 4 Sports. Home team highlights with Mark Harmon. Saturday only on WJXT, Channel 4.
An investment in Brinks Home Security Service provides peace of mind. Brinks will equip your home with 3 door window sensors, a siren, a motion detector, and a control pad. Your vital link to Brinks' 24-hour central monitoring.
We have an intrusion alarm at a residence.
That's peace of mind. Protect your family and your home. Let Brinks watch while you can't.
Find out how affordable home security can be. Call Brinks at 1-800-225-5247.
Dolly shares her most intimate thoughts tomorrow night at 7:30.
U.S. Open at the USTA's National Tennis Center, the men's final in the stadium. Stefan Edberg has been in charge. Obviously, Courier thought it was playable. Norm Christ in the chair. Haven't said this before. Let's go up to Andrea Joyce.
That's right, Pat. We're up in the nosebleed seats, and we have run into a couple of rabid Stefan Edberg fans. What would inspire you to do this, to paint this flag on your face? He's such a quiet guy. It doesn't seem like he would inspire that kind of behavior.
No, but when we're here is get the finals, we do anything to get to see him.
You're on vacation here?
Yes, we are only on vacation, but when we're here is get the finals, we do anything to see him.
So you saw the Statue of Liberty. Is this the highlight?
Yeah.
This is the highlight.
This is the highlight.
All right, Pat, if you thought all Swedes were quiet, I invite you to come up here and spend a couple of minutes up here with us. Back to you guys.
Looks like it's going to be a long vacation. Love 30. Edberg serving. Marla Maples and Donald Trump enjoy, I think.
All. 30 all. The Edberg serve has just been so dominant that Courier hadn't been able to do enough on the returns. You got to give Steph and Edberg all that credit. He's serving so well and backing it up.
He's just moving so, I mean, it's
really
such liquid grace. It seems sometimes as though he's just hovering right over the court.
40, 30.
40, 30.
Especially when you compare him with Courier. He's so much more, this guy dances, as everyone says, and Courier much more a ground hugger. I mean, you could see all the effort involved in the way he plays. See all the sweat from the practice courts and all the grit.
Game to Edberg.
Edberg leads 4 love.
From the Fuji blimp above, great aerial shots of the Flushing Meadows, the stadium, the surrounding area, all coming from the Fuji blimp. On a wonderful day for almost everybody.
Quiet, please.
There's Donna Mills, another avid tennis fan.
Talk about his movement, Edberg's movement, when tennis was still an exhibition sport at the Olympics in '88. Edberg played it, well, for the first time, I should say, '84, when both he and Steffi Graf won it. And he said he'd love to go and watch the track stars compete, because he said if he had a choice, if he weren't a tennis player, he'd like to be a sprinter.
Certainly moves well.
Yeah.
Friend of yours, Tone?
Yeah, great Pancho Segura, the gray-haired gentleman there from Ecuador. One of the most popular players to ever play. And Jack Kramer said that his two-handed forehand was the greatest single shot ever produced in tennis.
It's a pretty fine tribute. It's 15 all.
The last time I saw Edberg play this well, it was probably 2 years ago when he won Wimbledon. But this is on a hard court against a pretty tough hard courter.
Look where Edberg was. Watch how close he gets this for this final volley. Good penetrating approach and keeps moving forward right up near the net. That's really beautifully done.
I mean, he's won 4 Grand Slam titles, Edberg, but they've all been on grass. 2 at the Australian when it was still on grass, and 2 at Wimbledon. This is going to be a breakthrough for him, just as it was for Boris Becker when he won this title.
30 all.
30 all.
Becker wanted to prove that he wasn't just a grass court player. And I think Stefan Edberg is very much proving the same thing today. little chicken wing forehand of his didn't miss by much.
No, it didn't.
Heaven knows, and these fans know Courier needs this game.
Well, they want to see more tennis, too.
Deuce. 4 doubles false. And it's deuce.
A fan just reminded him of the Kriegstein match, trying to get him to make a comeback as Connors did last Monday.
Edberg trying to put the finishing touches on and rushing a little bit.
He won the first set 6-2, the second 6-4. Up 4-love in the third. Advantage to Edberg. Break point.
Well, if he can get this, we only have 3 breaks, we lead in 5-love. And he's only lost 14 points on his serve, so. You know how badly Courier needs this.
Edberg leads 5-love in the third set.
On June 23rd, BMW introduced the completely redesigned 325i sports sedan. The press has reacted. Have you?
Our newest shoe is designed for people who aren't interested in a friendly game of tennis.
It wakes up sleepy purples and helps canary yellows to fly. It gives the blues a wonderful bump and even helps the roses to look rosier. It's Fuji color. And it's the reason why more people are looking into Fuji films every day. Fuji, a new way of seeing things.
U.S. Open Championship of 1991, the men's final, and Stefan Edberg very, very much in command. Nope.
15 love.
It's got to be something that gets this guy excited. I mean, mud wrestling or something.
Edberg says, I think ordinary people are much more happy than the jet set and celebrity people. He says, my parents, whom I respect as my greatest friends, taught me early that happiness is often a modest thing. It's got nothing to do with money or fame. He lives that way. He doesn't want anyone to try to change him.
The match is 2 hours old now. Edberg won the first 2 sets and leads this one 5-love in serving. Seems to always be where he's supposed to be.
He does. He's just got such great instincts, especially up at the net. But again, this is how he was beating Lendl yesterday. Very little. There are no moments that have to pass between his muscles and his brain. The synapses are firing so simply.
He doesn't take any more steps than anybody else. He just gets there quicker. Match point.
Quiet, please.
The U.S. Open champion. Well, forget the mud wrestling. The U.S. Open title excites him.
That's pure joy from Edberg. I've never seen him really quite that emotional. That's lovely to see. And why shouldn't he be feeling this way? He only lost 15 points on serve. He was brilliant from every part of the court. And again, he did it on a surface where he's never won a title this big before.
Here's the way it looked. Match point.
Pretty.
Right now, let's go down to Tim Ryan.
All right, thank you, Pat. There's a close-up look at the best player in the game today. He is ranked #1 by virtue of advancing to the semifinal and the loss by Boris Becker early in the tournament. And he has capped it with an absolutely superlative performance against young Jim Courier, who did everything he could do, the French Open champion. We know that he'll be back here in U.S. Open finals many times in the future, but today was to be Stefan Edberg's day, his first ever U.S. Open championship, and something that has a great deal of meaning for him. Well, still to come, we'll go down to the court for the presentation of the men's championship trophy. You'll be meeting the winner. We'll have an NFL Today report, and we'll take you back to Patrick McEnroe and Jimmy Connors from early in the tournament.
promise you'll never be just a number with a lunchbox. A promise to remember that a get well card never paid a hospital bill. A promise you'll have more than a gold watch to remember this by.
To help keep their promises, thousands of employers rely on one company. Mass Mutual. We help you keep your promises.
Seiko U.S. Olympic Team Collection, a triumph of time from Seiko, the official timer of the games of the 25th Olympiad. Seiko, the measure of greatness.
One of these travelers knows that some payphones are connected to operator service companies you've never heard of. Some who can charge 2 to 3 times more than AT&T for long-distance calls. One of them knows a way to avoid being overcharged is to dial 10-ATT-0 and the number. Which one knows all this? The one who isn't being taken to the cleaners. 10-ATT-0 for fair prices and quality service. We're always there to help.
This fall, I've created a new series about a place that's very special to me. The place is called Childhood. The series is called Brooklyn Bridge. I hope you like it.
For nearly 2 weeks, New York belonged to Jimmy Connors, but tonight, it belongs to Stefan Edberg, the 25-year-old Swede who has won his first U.S. Open championship, and here is match point. Edberg taking a net ball, and with that classic backhand volley down the line for victory, and finally a show of emotion our commentators were hoping to see. And for the presentation, let's go to Tony Trabert on the stadium court.
All right, Tim, ladies and gentlemen, how about a great hand for 2 wonderful champions? It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Bill Bruce, who is the Vice President and General Manager of the Infinity Division, and Bill to present a check to our runner-up, Jim Courier.
Thank you, Tony. Jim, you had a great 2 weeks. We thank you for some exciting tennis, and maybe to make you feel a little better, a runner-up check on behalf of Infinity Luxury Automobiles for $200,000.
Jim, congratulations on a wonderful tournament. I know you're a little disappointed today, but you ran into a guy that just played way too well, right? Served too well?
Well, you know, I can't really say that I played too badly today. It's just that he was all over me from the beginning, and you know, I'd like to congratulate Stefan because I've never seen him play that well before, and he's a great champion.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. And now, Bill, you have a check for our winner, Mr. Stefan Edberg.
I sure do, Tony. A true champion, played very well. And I'm proud to present you, again, on behalf of Infinity Luxury Automobiles, a little bigger check. In fact, it's $400,000. Congratulations.
Stefan, congratulations. 2 Australian titles, 2 Wimbledon titles. We know you wanted this badly. Have you ever played better than you played today?
No, I think, honestly, this is probably the best match I've ever played, and I didn't think I could play as well.
You were knocked out in the first round last year. You come back to win it. That's got to be an awfully good feeling for you.
Yeah, I think it's great what happened last year. I was very disappointed losing first round. So, you know, I gave it all I had this year, and I had a very lucky year, so I'm starting to like New York, too.
All right, Stefan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Robert Cookson, who is the President of the United States Tennis Association and the Chairman of the U.S. Open, to present the championship trophy.
Thank you, Tony, very much. On behalf of the United States Tennis Association and its 435,000 members, I'd like to present this trophy to the 1991 men's singles champion, Stefan Edberg. Right.
The 1991 U.S. Open men's champion, Stefan Edberg.
So Stefan Edberg enjoying the fruits of his labor, the U.S. Open Championship, and we'll be back with a special NFL Today report, bringing you up to date on all of the action today in the National Football League, and we'll also see Connors versus Patrick McEnroe after this.